Alright, going live. If you're on replay, thanks for joining me for the replay. And this is Perry Dude's daily assignment. And what was your favorite job? It's tripod. Sorry, right in my face, that wasn't good. Stay. Alright, trying to get this thing set up to stay right. There we go. And a bit further away, so not quite so in your face. Thanks for coming in, welcome, thanks for joining me. This is one of my daily scope, well actually this is part of my daily assignments. Hi, nice to see you. Sorry, I see who's in here because I see people's names. Miss Coco, nice to have you in my scope. Evie, you missed my scope last night, it was way too late for you, I know, you were probably fast asleep. And it started out slow, but it picked up speed with some interesting characters in there with Dr. G in the house and a bunch of other people too. So you can watch the replay, it was a good one. But you'll catch my scope today because you're in here now. This is my daily, sorry, this is the daily assignment for the Perry Dudes. So it's not my daily scope yet. I'll get to that later on, sometime today. But today's scope, your Perioca Monday. Well, the things I didn't do my scope till after 10 p.m. Pacific time, so it was 1 a.m. East Coast time, so you would have been fast asleep. In fact, Donna was awake still because she's coming to the West Coast to get some planning her time zone sync, so she's staying up late. Yeah, that was way late. Yesterday was a strange day, got away from me. I didn't do my scope, and I had to do the scope about, as kind of like boys to men. It's more about boys had to grow up to be men, and it became a really good conversation. But it was a bit of the first 2 minutes were a bit sluggish. There wasn't anybody in there, and I wasn't really on my game at that point. Anyway, today's scope is the daily assignment for the Perry Dudes, and I'm doing a scope on the topic of, it was like, what was your favorite job? Truth is, I want to speak about what is my favorite job because that's kind of giving away what I'm really passionate about. So, before I start, let me say welcome to my scope. If you're here for the first time, or if you're here a regular time, please make sure you're following me on Periscope. And I have the request for 4 things. Make sure you're following me on Periscope. You know, do that. Swipe right or up on the phone you have. Tap on follow me, or tap the little guy in the corner and do the same thing. That's number 1. Number 2, please share this out on Twitter. Also, number 3, please share this out on Periscope. And number 4, please tap the screen for hearts. Those are the 4 things I request. Do those and be great. I am I'm looking at rewriting my bio on Periscope because I got some feedback from a friend of mine. Thank you, Evie, I appreciate that. Because I've been getting some feedback, I can get better bio, which would be more attractive to people following me, because a friend of mine said, you should already be at 2,000 followers by now. And I'm like, sorry, haven't done that. So if you're not following me already, please do. Add to my growing list of followers. It's still under 2,000, which seems like so many, but you know, whatever. So, my name is Barry Selby. I am a #1 best-selling author, relationship expert, teacher, guide, and speaker about relationships and love, and I am passionate about this subject, which is kind of why it's my favorite job. But I want to give some history to entertain and enlighten and inspire perhaps those of you who have job/career/vocation type question thoughts. So, hey, Larry, nice to have you here. Doing my daily assignment for the Perry Dudes. And thanks for being here, thanks for sharing, and thanks for spreading the word. So, today's topic, what was your favorite job? Well, I'm not going to count this one because that's what is my favorite job, and I'll get to that one at the end. You already told you what it is anyway. And if you watch my scopes, you know it's about that. But what was my favorite job? Let me say this. As I've shared before in other scopes further away, I've had 8 careers. Michelle, nice to have you in my scope. Thanks for joining me today. Thanks for everyone else coming in. Marissa, great people. Wow, there's a lot of new people coming in. Thanks for being here. I've had 8 careers before this one. So I'm going to share those and share highlights of things that I would say were my favorite things about them. Otherwise it'd be a very short scope. So, and just to give you a little history about my life, I've had quite a journey. And so I thought, why not entertain you with some regaling tales of my journey to get here? So thank you for that. I appreciate that, Larry. You picked up the tip you picked that one up from for Donna, I think. You're not typing, you're tapping. I love it. So again, for those of you joining me, thanks for coming in. Thanks for sharing this out on Twitter, on Periscope. I did ask for 4 things. Make sure you follow me, share it on Twitter, share on Periscope, and tap the screen for hearts. That's the 4 things I request. Do those things, and I'll love you forever. Sorta, kinda. So, share because you care. I like that. Nice. Tweet it out, get a shout. Larry, you're poetic. I love this. Okay, Larry, this is getting out of hand. You got so many abbreviations set up. I love this. Day or night, swipe and invite. You've been spending your time putting together some good taglines. This is good stuff. Thank you, Larry. Keep knocking them out. I love it. Okay, I'm getting to stay on topic, attempt to stay on topic with my version of the topic. So, careers, jobs, stuff like that. Okay, sorry, Larry's quotes are just knocking me out. I'm just loving them. They're so much fun. Great stuff, Larry. Thank you. And keep them going. They're fun. And I'll attempt to stay on topic. All right. Yes, Michelle. Very clever indeed. So, long ago, for those of you who don't know me, and probably some of you do know me, I am English, and that's hence the accent, and that's going to go in my handle, by the way, of being about having the velvet voice of Periscope or something like that, just to make it fun. I spent a couple of years working in Germany, a couple of years working in Belgium for a computer company. So I used to be many moons ago Jamaican. What do you think there, man? Not quite. Cute one. Yes, Evie, I'm English. Surprise, surprise. Okay, for those who don't know me, I'm English. For those who do know me, stop messing with me. Oh boy, I love this. Thank you. Thank you for all the comments. I'm loving this. So I started out as a teenager. Yes, I'm dating myself that way too. As a computer programmer. I worked in the computer industry in the old days when we still had punch cards. That is, you make it so easy. Yeah, to poke fun at me. Thank you, Evie. Yeah, of course. That's why I'm totally, authentic and naked in the sense of being like, you say what you say, and I don't take it personally as much as I used to. There's a whole other story. So, having started out in computer programming, I got really clear that I didn't want to do it after a few years, but it got me to the States. And so I would say highlights of that particular vocation, which was for a period of about, I know 70 years, I was elated up and figured out what I am. I want to keep that secret. My birthday is next Monday, hint, hint. But in terms of careers, the highlight of that was really the travel. I got to live in Germany, in Hamburg for a couple of years and travel around Germany, which was wonderful. Belgium, not so much. It was actually an industrial town I was working in, and it was commuting back and forward every week. But the computer industry really woke me up to adult life, living in the world, being experiential. It was kind of fun. After that, and I moved to the States, and I was working in computer programming for a while, and that was another highlight. I got to travel. Like, coming to the United States was a great gift. And working into LA, where I've been for the last 30 plus years. Oh my God, I'm giving you some timelines. But the thing is that the experience of the locations was one of the highlights. To travel, to be in new places, and I wouldn't have been in LA if I hadn't chosen that career from college to go out here. So that was a highlight, one highlight. I'm not going to go into all the careers, but I'm going to say a couple of things. My life definitely has improved because of the career choices I made. And some of the careers I've had along the way, one of my favorites, in fact, was my photography career, because I have a passion for photography and grew up with it. As a kid, I had a Zenith E camera, if you know what that was. It's an old Russian camera from way back in the way with car's eyes lens and a mechanical match needle dial. This is way before smartphones and way before digital cameras. This is going back in the old school. But it trained me well about photography, because when you have a 36-shot roll of film, you have to choose your shots carefully. Nowadays with modern technology, it's like you can shoot thousands of pictures and you just pick the one you like, because it doesn't cost you anything, just time. But with film, it's a different medium, and I still appreciate that. So my photography, I don't, even though with my smartphone, which is my only camera now, I still have this sense of setting up right, not just taking random shots. And if they're not perfect, they're not good. So that's one of my things I learned. And photography is one of the things I had as a passion all the way through my life, and I started doing it as a business back in about 10 years ago. Well, probably about 12 years ago. So, it was kind of thing what I did. So I liked doing it. It was fun. Christy, nice to have you here. So, to cut to the chase, all of the careers I've had, the 8 careers I've had, were always really things I sort of fell into or stepped into, next steps. They weren't really my calling or my joy, my passion. They were fun. I had great experiences. When I was in the printing industry, one of my other careers, I had a great deal of fun because I got to take concepts and ideas that were on computer and have them printed out physically. And that was a great thing of seeing thoughts into reality in a way. That was a great experience of learning on a metaphysical level too. So just throw that one in for fun. But the truth is, my passion is what I do now. My favorite job is what I do now, because what I get to do now is touch people's lives. And what I get to do in the action is uplift and inspire them, and ideally they get to live their life from a higher level. There ain't nothing better than that, frankly. Yes, I have a book out and I have coaching programs and I work with clients privately and help them really to heal their hearts, because truth be told, even though I had those 8 careers, including this one, 9 careers over the last many years, I spent a lot of time in the personal growth industry, taking seminars, trainings, retreats, workshops with different teachers. And that was where my joy really lives, is in the evolution of consciousness, in the waking people's souls up, and also to help people stop hurting themselves, emotionally speaking. And so in my work as a relationship expert and as a teacher and guide and coach, I really love helping my clients love themselves again. Because for many of us, I was included, I'm getting close to doing the same thing of healing hearts and awakening souls. Beautiful, that's so cool. That is Joshua. That's awesome. Great stuff, Joshua. Yes, the more of us doing this, the better, because frankly, with 7.5 billion people on the planet, I can't do it alone. Most of us can't do it alone. The more of us doing it, the better. We need to be. So in my work, when I help most of my clients, and most of my clients, just so you know, are primarily successful single women, because that's who I dated and who I saw the pain with more often than not. So I help them primarily because their work life is going great, but they're carrying this wound in their heart from past relationships that didn't work, or from lack of love, a lack of relationship. So my joy and my service is helping them, one, to love themselves, because a lot of times many people out there, and this is true for men and women, are so busy in the business world, they're so much in their head and their ego, they've forgotten how to love themselves. So loving themselves is number one. Self-love is something we've neglected in many of our lives. I did for a long time. And I'm getting better all the time at that, but it's practice, 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 you know, like Carnegie Hall. And so I'm very passionate about that for my clients. So my favorite job is not so much job, it's service. You know, I truthfully told, I did this for a long time before I got paid for it, because I was always in this mode of helping people love more themselves and each other. From Russia, welcome. Nice to have you here. And again, by the way, if you're here for the first time, please make sure you follow me. Share this out on Twitter, share on Periscope, and tap the screen for hearts. That's the 4, requests. So I'm regrouping my thoughts back to where I can be effective again. And it's one reason I love Periscope as well, by the way. Michaela, just see you pop in there. Nice to see you. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for being on my scope and for following me, please, because that's one of the things I value. Having the opportunity to share, by the way. As much as I love coaching clients and working on online programs, interacting like this is one of my highlights. One of my favorite things about Periscope is that I get to embrace and express my message with you and interact with you, and ideally leave you better off than you started with. If you say velvety voice, you have to sing my first, my last, my everything. Michelle, singing isn't one of my fortes, at least not that I'm aware of. I'm not choosing it right now, so no, I spoke out to you, won't be singing it, so nice one, Michelle. Velvety voice, yeah. People said I should be on radio many times, but I haven't found a way in that worked for me, so that's why I do this instead. But I love Periscope because somebody out there, generally every scope I do, gets a takeaway. I should do that too, yeah. Well, I'd rather be working in live audiences, working in live rooms. I do interviews and such like that for summits, which is kind of like being a radio interview, but different, but it's online. I did 8 last year, and I've already done 3 this year so far, and I've got another one coming up. So that's something I love doing. But really, it's about transformation. Because being on the radio, particularly if it's the traditional radio formats, don't work for me either, because then I'm just doing somebody else's message and not really being authentic, and that's not my passion. So I'm really focusing on what I love doing, which is to speak, guide, inspire, uplift, motivate sometimes, evoke, all these fancy words. So from Brussels, nice. You used to live in Antwerp a long time ago. What's the topic? The topic is, and let me show you sorry, set the phone at the tripod. The topic is part of the Perry Dudes daily assignment. What was your favorite job? And I put it as what is my favorite job as well. So that's the daily assignment for. If you're not in the Perry Dudes group, you're welcome to join us. If you go to perrydudes.com, you have a meeting. I'd love to see you. Thank you, Michelle. Nice to have you in my scope. And email me back when you have a chance to about the stuff I suggested to you. I want to hear back from you. I haven't heard back from you in that format for a while. So anyway, enjoy your meeting. Staying on topic. So my favorite job is what I do now. My favorite thing is being of service in a way that inspires, lifts, and touches other people's lives, and particularly when it helps them heal their hearts, own their love, and attract what they really want, which is why I do relationship coaching. That's why I do it. Make sense? And I also help other people learn what their purpose is, because truth be told, I believe what our favorite job should be, yes, should be, is to live our true calling, is to share our work in the world that serves. If it's to be a musical artist and inspire with music, because there are some amazing people out there doing that, like Lady Gaga on the Oscars on Monday, if you saw that, on Sunday rather, that was for me pretty amazing. So it could be that avenue, or it could be being an architect and designing amazing buildings. I met someone recently who does bodyguard or security as a side job, but his favorite thing is being an architect, designing buildings. So my thought is that living our calling, living our purpose, our mission in the world is absolutely the favorite thing to do in job. So that's even though it's not what I said what I do, but I really want to say to you, yes, you, the scoping viewer out there, if you're watching, just sure some people are, because I'm not seeing any comments or anything, but sure you're out there, is discover what really drives you, thrives you, inspires you, and motivates you to make a difference. If you live that as your job, I guarantee that'll be your favorite job. So that's become I realize I'm just doing a message now more than actually doing my teaching, but that's okay. So that's really my scope. Summary, pretty briefly, what my favorite job is, and always will be, is living my purpose and doing what I do. So, you're working too, Evie. That's why you've been commenting. You've been busy doing other stuff. You split your focus with me? Oh my God, Evie. How will I recover? I'll find a way. So thank you for watching. Thanks for being in the scope. I think that's really much it. So that's okay. I didn't see much in the comments, so I figured that was just you're a girl. I've noticed that, Evie, and that's the thing. You split focus. You can do that better than we can as men. But that's one of my teachings for another scope. So that's it. That's my daily assignment. I think that's it for the scope. So unless you've got any thoughts, questions about that, I'm going to sign off. I'll be back on later for my regular daily scope, and I'll be on Past the Cast tonight for the Perry Dudes. So a couple of plugs. If you are a guy and not part of the Perry Dudes and you want to be, go to perrydudes.com, where you can happily join us. That'll refer you to the Facebook group where you can sign up and join us. And if you're a woman watching, yes, there you go. Thank you so much, Evie. And for men, by men, right. And if you're a lady watching the scope and you're not in the Perry Girls, I recommend them as well, because they're a sister organization. And there are 10,000 plus women in that group, which is, there we go. Thank you, Evie. Evie's one of the leaders of that group, and they're an amazing group of women. And we cross-pollinate, support each other. So ladies, join Perry Girls. Guys, join Perry Dudes. We're about making a difference in the world through Periscope and beyond. And we'd love to have you join us. So that's it. Take care of yourselves. Thanks for watching. I'll be back on later. So make sure you follow me on Periscope and come join us. It's really fun. Bye. Cross-pollinate. Yeah, that sounded good. All right, Evie, get back to work. I've got to get back to work too. See you later. Bye.